when we talk about identity, we're really talking about the quiet architecture of a person's inner world, the beliefs they hold, the emotions they carry, the stories they've absorbed, and the unspoken contracts they made in childhood just to survive. And one of the most powerful tools we have for accessing, understanding, and reshaping that architecture is journaling. Journaling isn't simply writing down thoughts, although it can be. At its best, it becomes a bridge between the unconscious mind and the conscious self. It allows us to observe what ordinarily sits just outside awareness. And that's the starting point for any meaningful identity work. Most people live with a fragmented sense of self, an inner child holding unmet needs, an inner critic enforcing outdated rules and thoughts, and an adult self trying to function in the middle of it all. Journaling helps these parts finally have a conversation. It gives the inner world, inner child, permission to speak honestly. It reveals the tone of the inner critic, and it invites the adult self to step into leadership with clarity and compassion. When you journal regularly, patterns begin to emerge. You start to notice what triggers you, what drains you, what nourishes you. You start to see that the same themes repeat across relationships, careers, friendships, and personal choices. And that repetition isn't coincidence. It's the unconscious mind trying to show you where healing needs attention. One of the most illuminating things we can do is journal from different parts of what I call the filial psyche. For example, writing a page from the perspective of your inner child, what they long for, what scares them, what they wish someone had said. Then writing another page from the inner critic, its harsh rules, its warnings, its catastrophic predictions. And then allowing the nurturing parent to respond with grounded reassurance and boundaries. When people try this exercise for the first time, they often say the same thing. I didn't realize how much of my identity was shaped by voices that weren't mine. That's the power of journaling. It exposes the borrowed beliefs, the outdated narratives, the stories inherited from parents who were doing their best, but also carrying their own wounds. Journaling also slows down the emotional overwhelm that so many people live with. When thoughts stay in the mind, they spiral. When they're written down, they organize themselves. The nervous system calms. The adult self can see the landscape more clearly. And once you can see clearly, you can choose differently. The truth is, identity isn't fixed, it's fluid, evolving, and responsive to our inner work. Journaling becomes the place where you can test new beliefs, articulate new boundaries, and practice telling the truth about who you are and what you need. It's a rehearsal space for authenticity, and there's another dimension to journaling that often goes overlooked. The physical act of writing, the movement of pen on paper, especially when you use colour, engages the brain in a way that typing doesn't. It slows the process, making it deeper and more reflective. Many clients find that emotions surface more easily when they're handwriting because it bypasses the need for perfection and taps directly into felt experience. Over time, journaling becomes a record of your evolution. You start to see how far you've come, how beliefs have shifted, how emotional triggers have softened, and how the voice of the inner critic has become less dominant. You witness the emergence of a more stable, confident identity, one that belongs to you, not to the past. And perhaps most importantly, journaling builds a relationship with yourself, a private, safe, intimate relationship, one that many people never experienced in childhood. When you sit with your thoughts, your feelings, your fears, and your hopes, you are offering yourself the very presence you once needed from others. That is identity work, and that is healing. So if you're beginning this journey, start simply. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What part of me is speaking? What do I need today? And write, without judgment, without editing, without trying to sound clever. Let it be raw and honest. That's where transformation begins. Identity isn't discovered in a single insight. It's revealed in the slow, consistent act of meeting yourself on the page. Journaling opens that door, and when you walk through, you don't just find answers, you find yourself. If you'd like help rediscovering your identity, visit my website, book a free discovery call. Let's see what's possible.